past our differences. There's so much we can gain if we open our eyes to see the beauty inside. Our hearts will feel a brighter day. We'll sing Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. Let's join our hands together in gratitude we treasure the golden chain of love. Our hearts gather in one place, our differences will erase. We will be as one. Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
It was on, I think. It was on.
Okay.
Look closer.
Take it off. I'm so a distance. Well, we don't have to be 6 feet apart anymore, right? Okay, here we go. Good morning and welcome to Makawao Hongwanji Buddhist Temple, and I've had a wonderful week. All right, we'll begin our service with Vandana Tisarana. Let's sing the Pali and English verses together.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Amen to him, the exalted one.
begin the Gatha Gasho with Amida. The words will also be shown on the screens. Chanting will be followed by quiet meditation.
Springtime brings the there quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, you feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. No.
Alright, we'll have offering of incense and offertory at this time. Okay.
Okay, you can use the sidewalks too.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll recite the golden chain of love. Okay, let us begin. I am a lady in the golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my faith bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds. Knowing that what I do now depends not only on my happiness, but also that of others. May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo. Now is children's Dharma story time.
Or at least we'd like to think.
We'd like
And now live from Makawao, it's Children's Dharma Story Time, starring Barkla the dog, Lucy the ladybug, and special guests, Green Snoopy, Kermit Basho Frog, the sleepy lamb, and the monkey guy. Hey, hi, good morning. How y'all doing this fine Sunday morning? Hope you're well and feeling fine. Let's say hi to Lucy Ladybug, the love of my life. Hi, Lucy. Aloha kako, aloha for everyone. How wonderful to see all of the Dharma buddies around the world. Mahalo for joining us. With my magic glasses from Maui Optics, I can see Melody, you're here in person. And our little brother Cadence is still in Honolulu. Hey, Cadence, how's it going? And I can see Tori and Benji, Nimi, and Micah, and Lena, and Kevin, and Colin, and Tyrus, and Cora, and Liliana, and Liliana, and Liliana. Kenneth, Sierra, Lindsay, and Wesley, and Maddie in Colorado. Hey, Maddie. And Todd, Cruz, Addison, and Jack. And I can see Sensei buddies in Japan and Hong Kong, Nepal, Canada, Brazil. Wow, that list keeps getting bigger and bigger every week. Good thing we have so many sponsors of Children's Dharma Storytime, whose generous offerings make it possible to live stream every week. Hey, wait, mahalo, arigato, obrigado, shay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Today's story is a special request from Sensei's granddaughter, Melody. Sensei sure is crazy about Melody and will do anything she says. Hey, did you know that Melody and Sensei ate popcorn with butter and salt for breakfast the other day? Shh, we're giving away all of our secrets. Today's story is Stella Luna by Janelle Cannon. This book is dedicated to Burton H. Cannon and Nancy A. Cannon, with love. Stella Luna. In a warm, sultry forest far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. I'll name you Stella Luna, she crooned. Each night, Mother Bat would carry Stella Luna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stella Luna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster, into the forest below. The dark leafy tangle of branches caught Stella Luna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stella Luna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings around her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," Stella Luna squeaked, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. Flump, Stellaluna landed head first in a soft, downy nest, startling the three baby birds who lived there. Stellaluna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the three birds. "What was that?" cried Flap. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Shh! Here comes Mama," hissed Pip. Many, many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stellaluna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer. She climbed into the nest, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Plop! In dropped a big green grasshopper. Stellaluna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all day and slept at night. She ate bugs, even though they tasted awful. Her bat ways were quickly disappearing, except for one thing. Stellaluna still liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. When Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. "Eek!" she cried. "Get back up here this instant! You're going to fall and break your necks!" The birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stellaluna. "You are teaching my children to do bad things. I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey all the rules of this house." Stellaluna promised. She ate bugs without making faces. She slept in the nest at night, and she didn't hang by her feet. Stellaluna behaved as a good bird should. All the babies grew up quickly. Soon the nest became crowded. Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. One by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. "I'm just like them," thought Stellaluna. "I can fly too." Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch. Stellaluna tried to do the same. How embarrassing! "I will fly all day," Stellaluna told herself. "Then no one will see how clumsy I am." The next day, Pip, Flitter, and Flap and Stellaluna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. "The sun is setting," warned Flitter. "We'd better go home or we will get lost in the dark," said Flap. But Stellaluna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The 3 anxious birds went home without her. All alone, Stellaluna flew and flew until her wings ached and she dropped into a tree. "I promised not to hang by my feet," Stellaluna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. "Hey!" a loud voice says. "Why are you hanging upside down?" Stellaluna's eyes opened wide. She saw a most peculiar face. "I'm not upside down. You are," Stellaluna said. "Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You are hanging by your thumbs, so that makes you upside down," the creature said. "I'm a bat. I'm hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up." Stellaluna was confused. "Mama Bird told me I was upside down. She said I was wrong." "Wrong for a bird, maybe, but not for a bat." More bats gathered around to see the strange young bat who behaved like a bird. Stellaluna told them her story. "You ate bugs?" stuttered one. "You slept at night?" gasped another. "How very strange," they all murmured. Wait, let me look at this child." A bat pushed through the crowd. An owl owl attacked you? She asked, sniffing Stella Luna's fur. She whispered, you are Stella Luna. You are my baby. You escaped the owl? Cried Stella Luna. You survived? Yes, said Mother Bat as she wrapped her wings around Stella Luna. Come with me and I'll show you where to find the most delicious fruit. You'll never have to eat another bug as long as you live. But it's nighttime, Stella Luna squeaked. We can't fly in the dark or we will crash into the trees. We're bats, said Mother Bat. We can see in the darkness. Come with us. Stella Luna was afraid, but she let go of the tree and dropped into the deep blue sky. Stella Luna could see. She felt as though rays of light shone from her eyes. She was able to see everything in her path. Soon the bats found a mango tree, and Stella Luna ate as much fruit as she could hold. I'll never eat another bug as long as I live, cheered Stella Luna as she stuffed herself full. I must tell Pip, Flitter, and Flap. The next day, Stella Luna went to visit the birds. Come with me and meet my bat family, said Stella Luna. Okay, let's go, agreed Pip. They hang by their feet, and they fly at night, and they eat the best food in the whole world, Stella Luna explained to the birds on the way. As the birds flew among the bats, Flap said, I feel upside down here. So the birds hung by their feet. Wait until dark, Stella Luna said excitedly. We will fly at night. When night came, Stella Luna flew away. Pip, Flitter, and Flap leaped from the tree to follow her. I can't see a thing, yelled Pip. Neither can I, howled Flitter. Aye! Shrieked Flap. They're going to crash, gasped Stella Luna. I must rescue them. Stella Luna swooped about, grabbing her friends in the air. She lifted them to a tree, and the birds grasped a branch. Stella Luna hung from the limb above them. We're safe, said Stella Luna. Then she sighed. I wish you could see in the dark, too. We wish you could land on your feet, Flitter replied. Pip and Flap nodded. They perched in silence for a long time. How can we be so different and feel so much alike? Mused Flitter. And how can we feel so different and be so much alike? Wondered Pip. I think this is quite a mystery, Flap chirped. I agree, said Stella Luna, but we're friends, and that's a fact. The end. And the book also continues on with some amazing notes about bats. Did you know that there are 5,500 species of mammals on the earth, and 1/4 of them, 1,370 species, are bats, the only mammals capable of powered flight. So there's all kinds of interesting stuff in there, there's a workbook that goes with this. If you'd like one, let me know, I'll send it to you. But Melody answered all the questions like in 2 seconds, so it was not a very good exercise for her. Janelle Cannon is also very famous for her other books. And she has also a note, which I think you might enjoy, because she explains why she wrote the story. And that was the story, Stella Luna by Janelle Cannon. Hey kids, he's Sensei, you're 10 seconds behind. Hey kids, wasn't that a great story? What part did you like? Hey, wait, I love that part too. Say, who's the ladybug? Love my life. Why don't you tell our Dharma buddies what you loved about the story? Mahalo for asking, Barkley. I was so sad when little Stella Luna was separated from her mommy. But I was so inspired that Stella Luna learned how to live together with her bird family, and how the bird family helped her to learn together, live together in harmony. And then Stella Luna and her mommy are reunited. Wee! Yep, that part made me cry too. I'm a rascal dog, but I'm a softie. Say, Sensei, what do you love about the story? Well, Barclay, I think you and Lucy already know this, but just because we're different doesn't mean we can't be friends. So bats and birds like to eat different things, sleep in different ways at different times. And birds can land on their feet, and bats can see at night. But because they're friends, they stick together, they help each other, and they love each other like ohana, like family. Like they said in the book, how can we be so different and feel so much alike? And how can we feel so different and be so much alike? It's a mystery to me. But you two lovebirds obviously are made for each other. Ah, you got that right. Wait, little ladybug is the love of my life, and I'm a rascal dog. Oh, Berkeley, I love you because you are a rascal dog. Bee-ha! And that's exactly what Nam Amida Butsu means. Amida Buddha loves you just the way you are. Just like your mom and daddy put together. And that's why we put our paws together in Gasho, and we bow our heads and say, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Buddha, Namo Buddha. Say, Lucy, what do you say we go with Melody to her house and make us some buttered popcorn for breakfast? Oh my, you had me a popcorn for breakfast. Bee-ha! And fade to black there. And this is where Melody says, hey, Sensei, you forgot something. Because she asked if she could introduce her project. So for the past 4 years or so Melody last came in 2018. And she was 6 years old. So, Mimi and I have been very diligently saving up toilet paper rolls. We've got like 5,000 toilet paper rolls at the inside part, the cardboard part. So I said, Melody, please make a project because we were saving things up. I know you're 10 years old now, and it's like, yeah, Grandpa, right? So she made a bird feeder. And so, Melody, if you'd like to come up to the MC podium and explain your bird feeder.
I made it out of a toilet paper roll, and then I got another toilet paper roll, and I folded it up to make the little stand that they stand on, and then I taped it together with duct tape, and I made some holes so that it would go through, so it wouldn't tilt when the bird sits on it. And then I also added this fuzzy pipe cleaner decoration thing so that it attracts them. And then I also added this net so that we could put the cream puff shells in it so they could sit here and peck at it. And then this is the string that I used to hang it up.
Good, very good. Thank you, Melody. Yeah, these are for sale for $500 each. So contact the temple office and we'll be happy to set you up with one of these things. Also, Melody is an excellent consultant. If you have lots and lots of toilet paper rolls just piling up in your house, give her a call. She'll give you some ideas for what to do. Okay, so we'll move on. Oops, Sensei, you forgot something. Be good, but not too much. Okay. So, so today we shared the story, Stella Luna by Janelle Cannon, which is a book I fondly remember reading to our son. And a book that Melody, our granddaughter, asked us to read again today for the Children's Dharma Storytime. So, as a grandfather, as a father, it's kind of like, yeah, this has some nostalgia to it. But actually the book teaches a very profound lesson. Learning to live together despite our differences. So Stella Luna is a fruit bat, and she's separated from her mother as a baby by causes and conditions, which is symbolized by the owl. So her baby wings are not ready to fly. She falls into a nest of baby birds who accept her just the way she is. And they become friends and share adventures together. They become a ohana, they become a family. So to live in harmony with her bird family, Stella Luna has to learn how to eat bugs, how to sleep at night, and how not to hang upside down by your toes, which is what all bats do, but not what you do if you're living with birds. So life's not easy, but Stella Luna adapts and improvises and overcomes a challenging situation. If anybody was in the U.S. Marines, you know that expression, adapt, improvise, overcome, sometimes written as improvise, adapt, overcome.
The U.S. Marines teach this to all recruits at boot camp. If you're interested, there's a kind of a mediocre Clint Eastwood movie called Heartbreak Ridge, which is where you'll see this classic Clint Eastwood. The movie itself is kind of so-so. But anyway, check it out. So Stella Luna is joyfully reunited with her mother, who teaches Stella Luna what it means to be a fruit bat. Eat mangoes, fly in total darkness, and hang upside down by your toes. That's what bats do. So Stella Luna shares her joy at discovering who she really is with her bird family. And they discover that birds can't fly in the dark. And Stella Luna saves them because she can see and fly in the dark because she is a bat. And they all ponder the question, how can we feel so different and yet be so much alike? And also, how can we be so different and feel so much alike? So Stella Luna and her bird Ohana agree. It's quite a mystery, but we're friends, and that's a fact. That's a fact. So it's really easy to understand why this is such a beloved children's story, and why it's been literally translated to almost every language. So the lesson for adults, right? You may not like the situation you find yourself in, but you do what needs to be done without complaint. If you're hungry enough, you'll eat a bug. You may not like the taste, but you'll eat it to survive. You may not like the reality as it is that you're a bat in a bird's nest. You're the outsider. You have to learn the rules of the house and respect them, or you don't get to live in the house. Doesn't that really describe the human condition? Aren't we all outsiders? Aren't we all bats in a bird's nest in this human realm, this human world of confusion and delusion? So at each stage of life, didn't you feel like a bat in a bird's nest? So, unsure of who you are, you're ignorant of the rules, how to behave, what to do, what to think, what to say, but you listen, you learn, you adapt, improvise, and overcome. And you're blessed to encounter kind people who take the time to teach you the rules. And then you discover who you really are. You're a bat, you're a fruit bat who loves mangoes, you can fly in the dark, and you sleep during the day hanging upside down by your toes. But think about it, isn't that what happens at every stage in your life? So when you go off to elementary school, middle school, and high school, and some of the Temple kids have restarted school this week, do you know all the rules? Or even when you went to university, you're an adult at that point. Do you know all the rules, how things work? No, you learn things the hard way. You make mistakes, you get embarrassed, you look silly, and eventually you figure it out. Then you get your first job. There's a new set of rules, expectations, behaviors, and attitudes. And you adapt, you improvise, and you overcome. And then you get married. Oops, now you're sharing the mundane ups and downs of daily life with another human being. It's a new set of rules, expectations, and behaviors and attitudes. And then a baby shows up. The baby's a toddler, a preteen, a teenager, a college student, and suddenly, for you, it's time to retire. Again, a new set of rules, expectations, behaviors, and attitudes. Then it's grandpa time, if you get lucky, and you blow out your back, picking up the baby. And then years later, grandbaby is driving you to the temple. And then grandbaby is changing your diapers. Over and over again, born human. We have no choice but to adapt and improvise and overcome. So imagine when you're an ex-advertising agency executive and you become a Hongwanji minister. It's a big change. But the truth of impermanence, if you need proof of the truth of impermanence, each stage of life brings a new set of rules, expectations, behaviors, and attitudes. So when we reflect upon this story, we realize Stella Luna was very, very lucky. She falls into a nest of birds who accept her as a bat in their bird's nest. They share everything they have with her. They teach her how to live in harmony as a bat in a bird's nest. And then she's reunited with her mother, who teaches you how to be a bat, teaches her how to be a bat in the bat's world. And so she shares this joy with her bird family, who rejoice in her happiness. And now she has the best of both worlds. And isn't that the story of you? And how can we feel so different and yet be so much alike? How can we be so different and feel so much alike? So in bonding between parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren, in a romantic love relationship, navigating workplace interactions, personal friendships, and fellowship with temple and sangha members, Learning to be a good neighbor, being a member of the community. This insight, right, that we have to adjust ourselves. This is the key to living in harmony with people who are different than you. So different lifestyles and attitudes and values mean that each individual feels things in a different way. And yet we can be so much alike by virtue of being born human. Different perspectives and life experiences and the causes and conditions of each of our lives mean that we think and act and do things in different ways, and yet we feel so much alike. So Buddhism teaches us that our human nature compels us to live our life as if it's about me, it's about my ego, when it's not. And thus we're always banging heads with billions of other human beings insisting, it's about me. And we see this in our nation today, we see this around the world. As Americans, we respect the right of all citizens to voice their opinions freely, to protest peacefully, and even to hold unpopular views. As human beings, however, we instinctively insist, yes, but I'm right, you're wrong, it's about me. And thus disharmony, anger, and conflict arise. Buddhism teaches that when we live life as it's not about me, when we wake up to the reality, life is not about me, we can learn to live together in harmony with other people, all living beings, the environment, and the planet that we all share. So human beings communicate best through telling stories, which is why the children's Dharma story time usually has about twice as many viewers as the Dharma talk for adults. It's more fun to learn a story than it is to be lectured to or preached to. Or maybe Barkley the dog is just a better speaker than Reverend Carey. So what's your Stilabima story? When were you a bat in a bird's nest? Who helped you to learn the rules? Who helped you to adapt and improvise and overcome? Who helped you to discover your true self? And so today, if you consider every other person you encounter as a fellow bat in a bird's nest, you will be the one, will you be the one to accept them just as they are, to teach them the rules of the house, and just be friends because of your differences. If you're a bat and you only hang out with bats, you only know the world of bats. And that's perfectly fine, because you're a bat. But if you find the causes and conditions of your life lead you to being a bat in a bird's nest, what a rare and wonderful opportunity to learn new things, to gain new perspectives, and discover your true self. Reality is, it's scary to be a bat in a bird's nest. And it's not pleasant to be the outsider. As adults, we know this. But as Shin Buddhists, Amida's great compassion compels us to aspire to be the person, accepting the other just as they are, teaching the other with kindness and gentleness, and simply being friends because we are different. You don't have to learn to enjoy eating bugs, but if that's what needs to be done to live, take a deep breath, suck it up, and just do what needs to be done. When we awaken to the reality as it is, that we are all bats in a bird's nest, we're empowered, just as we are, to accept the other, just as they are. So the infinite wisdom of Amida guides us to this awakening. We are all bats in a bird's nest. And it comes to us through a children's story that makes adults think. So the compassion of Amida knows that our adult self, our ego self, prevents us from seeing reality as it is. And so this wisdom comes to us in the form of a children's story, right, that we read to children, our sons, daughters, grandchildren, while absorbing this wisdom ourselves. So we are all bats in a bird's nest. So today, right, what are you going to think, say, and do to live in harmony with people who are different than you? How can we be so different and feel so much alike? How can we feel so different and be so much alike? Just say it. Namo Amida. Just say mahalo. So mahalo for listening this morning. May your day be filled with aloha.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Carey, for a very inspirational Dharma message this morning. Okay, all right. Right. Okay. Let us chant the Metta Sutra Sutra, the Loving Kindness Sutra. Okay, and we'll begin.
May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo.
Okay, Reverend Carrie will now lead us in the gratitude meditation.
So let's sit together quietly again for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place those feet flat on the ground. Now sit up straight, line your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes halfway so that you're looking both outwardly and inwardly. And just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say mahalo. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will sing at the end of our quiet meditation. Namanda, let's namanda, let's namanda, let's namanda.
Okay, we'll now sing Onduka-san. Please rise if you're able to. And this is the hymn of gratitude written by Shinran Shonin. This gaka will be shown on the screen.
Yep, go to the next slide.
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
Okay, here we go.
Sorry, I'm watching Facebook on my iPad.
7 seconds behind. Oh, how strange. Okay, sounds it. Where's the music? I'm not sure why it's going on. There we go.
Please remain standing for the Nembutsu.
Listen to the Buddha's teachings, even if you must take time from your daily business. To believe you will listen when you have some spare time is shallow thinking. There is no tomorrow in listening to the teachings. The wisdom of Enyo Shonin, the 8th chief priest of Hongwanji in the 15th century Japan. No, that's...
Please be seated. Once again, thank you for joining our daily sunrise service today. Sunrise. It has risen.
Sun is up.
It has risen. Announcements.
May I ask all the ladies, young and younger and any age, let's take a picture. We need some pictures for maybe the booklet or the slideshow. So I appreciate all the ladies taking a picture.
Why just ladies?
Oh, because we need kind of like BWA.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, hurry up.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Now. Yes, now I want refreshments, hurry up.
I got my haikus to repeat.
It's early.
May I have Carol and Diane in the middle?
That's my husband. How come my husband here?
Carol and Diane.
President, committee, past president, come here. Right here. This way?
And we can make a graduation. And a little bit in the back row. Yeah.
Okay.
First row, step 4. Step 4. Melody, step 4. Yeah. And then,
Say a little bit more. Come in.
yeah, I prefer like about this much.
Oh, wow. I guess we gotta
Oh, and then you get in picture too, Marilyn.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where shall I go. Okay, so okay, I'm going by Jean, but that Joanne, be sure you can. Okay. Coming here, but be sure you can see Joanne.
Who wore a mask or not?
No, ma'am.
One with, one without.
Yes, one with, one without.
One with, one without.
Melody, take off your mask.
No, with mask. Oh, yeah. Are we with masks now or off?
Off. Okay.
Off. Okay. Okay.
3, 2, 1, mask off. Smile.
Okay, let me check.
All right.
Uh-oh, we check.
You want one with masks on?
No.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. Because he's going United.
Oh, never mind.
No, you don't have to because you're going regular.
Yeah.
If you're going comfort or business class.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
All right, you.
So you just go regular.
Okay, any other announcements?
Jamie.
Next couple of Sundays, we'll be doing Dharma Family Service. So please show up. And Jamie, how's the announcement?
Thank you for supporting Junior IBA at the Panda fundraiser. We didn't get the counting yet, but it should be in 7 to 10 business days.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yes. So raise your hand if you had Panda Express yesterday. Woohoo, pretty good.
Okay, any
A couple
other?
of other announcements. We need guest speakers. Okay, so for September, October, November, at least one Sunday, I won't be here due to travel reasons. So the other thing is also the Maui ministers are going to start taking turns to officiate the Sunday service at Hongwanji. So I'm going to be rotating, in that at least once a month. So we need guest speakers. So Nalani, you have already been volunteered to give us Buddhism and psychology kind of perspective. So anybody else makes stuff up, it's okay. Also, I'm going to start training lay minister assistants. So if you'd like to learn the basic knowledge of the Jodo Shinshu, basic rituals and movements, how to chant, the meaning of chanting, how to set up the altar, etc., 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 this is for you. And also as a guest speaker, this will, you can start sharing personal experiences with the Dharma. So it's not a Dharma talk from an ordained priest, which is what I have to do. And I'm happy to start training. It's actually a good introduction or refresher course for Hongwanji members. Columbarium remains open every day, and everyone is welcome to enjoy refreshments and talks during the social hall. If nobody else has any announcements, we're good. So thank you very much, and we'll see you up in the social hall.
Oh, about the birds? Oh,
Sorry?
no.
No,
Okay.
no, that's for next Sunday. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much and have a very safe week.